A very good morning to the honorable judges, teachers, and friends. My name is Tanitin. I am a student of SJKC CHENG 2. Today, I would like to share an interesting story of The Happy Prince. Do you know that The Happy Prince by Oscar Wilde was published for the first time in May 1888? It was published by Tint and Hudson Limited, and the illustrator is Macy Paradise Shearing. The Happy Prince is a classic fiction literature and it has 32 pages in total. The main character of The Happy Prince is a prince who lived a very happy life. When he was alive and had a human heart, he did not know what tears were, for he lived happily in the palace where soul is not allowed to enter. Everything about him was so beautiful. However, after his death, he stood in the form of a statue. The statue of the Happy Prince was covered in gold leaf with sapphire for eyes. Moreover, there's a ruby on his sword hilt. Although the Happy Prince's heart was made of lead, he could not choose but weep to see the ugliness and the misery of his city. His tear dropped on the Solo who fly over the city on his way to Egypt. When the Solo looked up, he saw the eyes of the Happy Prince were filled with tears. The statue told the Solo, "Far away in the little street, there's a poor house. I can see string sticks. In the corner of the room, her little boy is lying ill. He has a fever and is asking for oranges. His mother has nothing to give him but river water, so he's crying. Solo, Solo, little Solo, will you not bring her the ruby out of my sword hilt?" So the Solo picked out the great ruby from the prince's sword and laid the great ruby on the table beside the woman. Then the Solo flew back to the Happy Prince and told him what he had done. "It was curious," he remarked, "but I feel quite worn out, although it is so cold." "That's because you done a great action," says the Happy Prince. When day broke, the Solo asked to leave again. However, the prince pleaded him to stay, for he had seen a young man. He is trying to finish the play, but he's too cold to write anymore. In the end, the Solo agreed to stay another night. The prince then commanded the little Solo to pluck out one of his sapphire eyes for delivery to the young man. The Solo refused and could make him blind, but the prince was determined. When the Solo returns once more to say goodbye to the Happy Prince, the prince begged him to deliver his other sapphire eye to a little match girl who dropped all her matches. The Solo agreed and remained by the prince's side forever, as he could not leave him alone and blind. The prince insisted to know if anyone in the city was in misery. The prince would ask the Solo to take off the gold leaves and give them to the needy. The story comes of a climax where the Solo died and the heart of the Happy Prince cracks. Both of them have given everything they have to help others. Eventually, the greedy mayor of the town melted down the statue of the Happy Prince. The story of the Happy Prince comes with a happy ending, where the angels carry the Happy Prince and the Solo to heaven. For good deeds are always rewarded. The story of the Happy Prince stands to us. Love and sacrifice are very important values in our lives, and happiness comes to those who make other people happy. Like what the Solo remarked. "I feel quite warm now, although it is so cold," after he done a great action. This story also reminds us that we always need to help the poor and needy. People should help each other, especially the rich should help the poor, so the society can get better. How beautiful is life if we can share and bring happiness to others. The Happy Prince helps people by giving away all he has. His compassion and kindness always throws light into the people in need. Last but not least, the story also brings the message that we must always be kind and ready to sacrifice for others. The year 2020 was a challenging year because of the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. Nevertheless, our healthcare workers and frontliners continue to devote their time and energy to contain this pandemic. These unsung heroes, they sacrifice and risk their own lives for the benefits of the nation. Their kindness, compassion are just like the Happy Prince, who always lead a helping hand and bring happiness to others. Through a simple kindness, and the ripples will reach out far. Although the Happy Prince was set 100 years ago, it still reveals as an aspiration for the readers until today. There are the parts of the story are really touching and sweet, although the background are quite difficult for young readers, as it is a classic. I highly recommend everyone to pick this book up. I rate this book 8 out of 10. The Happy Prince by Oscar Wilde. You won't miss it, right? With this, I think